Okay, this short video will show you how to fill out the table on this lab worksheet. It should be pretty simple, but I wanted to make this video just in case. So let's take a look at the lab worksheet to begin with. What you are going to need to do is fill out this table right here. We want to look at the most recent 3 years that are available on the website, which I will show you shortly. And we're going to collect data from that website and put it in here. So let's take a look at the website. I've already clicked on it, but as you're going through the lab, you'll see that this is the lab, or excuse me, the link that you can use right here. So click on this link. It will open up the website that you need, and you can use this website again to fill in this data. Now, because I don't want to give away any answers, I'm going to assume that we are not we are not going to look at the most recent years, because that is what you are going to do. So let's take a look here. All right, so here we go. If you click on the website, this is what you'll come to, right? As described in the lab worksheet. It should be exactly where you need it. All the settings should be exactly where you need it. But let's look at this. What you're looking for is the most recent data. And you can see here that we're looking, the complete amount of data available is from 2015 to 2019. And for whatever reason, it automatically is set to this bar right here. Now, what you're going to want to do, regardless of what the years are move this bar all the way to the right, because you're going to want the most recent data available. And you can see here when I do it right now, in September 16th of 2021, this is what's available to me. So again, we're going to pretend like that's not the most recent that's available, because I don't want to give away any answers. So let me bring this back down to, 2005 to 2008, because according to the instructions and your table, you need at least 3 years of data. So let's assume 2008 is what year it is right now. So here we go. Let's fill out the chart. First thing we need to do is put in the years. And again, we're going to put the most recent year. And again, I'm going to assume, we're going to pretend, mind you, that the most recent year, that it's 2008 right now. Obviously, then the year before that would be 2007. And the year before that would be 2006. I will point out, if you want extra credit, feel free to add years. To do that, you can just highlight a column like this. You can right click it and you can insert, right? I can insert a column to the left if I wanted to collect even more data, which would be helpful. But again, you're not required to, but you can do it for extra credit if you want, for a little bit of extra credit. Anyway, so here we go. We have the years that we're looking at. We're looking at 2006, 2007, and 2008. Let's go back to the website. So I've set this where I need it to. So now I'm going to go down here and get the data that I actually need. You can see right here that we're looking under 7D, which is as it should be. We're obviously looking under the United States. And then down here, we're looking right here under renewable energy sources. Okay, so here we have 2008, 2007, 2006. That's exactly what I need. So total renewable energy sources, I can see right here, that was 352.19. So let me go back over here. Total 352.19 for 2006. Let's find out what it is for 2007. Total 2007. It won't let me copy and paste, but that's okay. 320.55. 320.55. Now we need the total for 2008 again, because we're pretending that this is the most recent data available. 2008 total 350.18. 350.18. All right. So I'm done collecting the data for the total. Now let's collect it for geothermal. Of course, you can do this in any order you want. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it in a different order. I'm going to do it in the order in which it appears on this website. So we have the total information. Now I'm going to do conventional hydropower just because it's next. In 2006, it was 286.25. So conventional hydropower 286.25. Let's look to see what it was in 2007. That was 245.84. 245.84. Let's look to see what it was in 2008. That was 253.1. All right, next on my list, excuse me, again, I'm just going to go in the order in which it appears on the website. So next I'm going to do wind. In 2006, it was 26.59. Wind, 2006, 26.59. Now I need 2007. Wind, 2007, 34.45. 34.45. 2008 for wind. Wind, 2008, 55.36. 5.36. All right. Next on the list, because I'm going in the order in which it appears on the website, is solar. 2006, 0.51. Solar, 2006, 0.51. 2007 for solar, 0.61. 0.61. Now let's look at 2008. Solar, 2008, 0.86. 0.86. Okay. Now, next on the list is biomass. 2006 was 24.27. 24.27. 2007, we had 25.01. 25.01. 2008, we had 26.02. 26.02. All right, next on the list on the website is geothermal. 2006 was 14.57. Geothermal, 2006, 14.57. 2007 for geothermal, 14.64. 14.64. 2008 for geothermal, 14.84. 14.84. So now I have all the data that we need as far as observations, right? I've collected all the data we need. Now we need to make some calculations. We need to see how it's changed. And to do that, we're going to take the final amount, and we're going to subtract it by the original amount, and then divide it by the original amount. And you can refer back to here. So in this example that I've written up here, we're looking at 2017 through 2019. So in this case, we have, again, the most recent data, the final, minus the original, right? And then divided by the original. That gives us the number, but then to make it a percentage, we move the decimal point twice, right? Or in other words, we multiply it by 100. So let's look at this. There we go. So geothermal, we pop up the calculator here. And if you're good with Excel, you can do this in Excel and just have it done automatically for you. But anyway, we ended up with 14.84. Let's subtract the original, which was 14.57. All right, now we have our number. We divide that by the original, which was 14.57. Okay, we have our number. Now we need to move the decimal place to turn it into a percentage, or in other words, multiply it by 100. So times 100, and there we go. The answer is 1.85%, right? So there was a 1.85% change with geothermal. And what you should do, I'm not going to do that for each one of these, but what you should do is kind of give it a check, right? Yes, you should always double check your work, but when I grade it, mostly I'm not going to break out a calculator and check all your work, but I will be looking, a broad overview. So we can see here we went from 14.57 to 14.84. So I do know that that's a positive change. So if your answer here is negative, then obviously I'm going to mark that wrong right away. I don't even need to do the math. Also, we can look at the fact that it's 14.57 to 14.84. I can tell by looking without doing any calculations that that is a small number, right? So 1.85 makes sense. Now, if you did your math wrong and you wrote 10.85, I might think to myself, oh, that might be a mistake. Or if you wrote, if you wrote 18.5, I might think that's a mistake. Or if you wrote 185%, I would definitely know that's a mistake. So, be careful with your math, look over your information. I'll give you another example here. Conventional hydropower, went from 286.25 to 253.1. That is a negative change. We'll go ahead and do this one. This will be my last example. Here we go. Calculator, where are we at here? Start over. So the final is 253.1. Let's subtract the original, which was 286.25. And I did something wrong. I could tell by looking at that. So let's do it again. Calculate 253.1 minus 286.25. There we go. We have our number. Now let's divide it by the original number. So divide it by 286.25. Okay, good. Now let's make it a percentage by multiplying it by 100, or moving the decimal point 2 places, times 100. So negative 11.58, right? So I write that right here. Negative 11.58%. And again, looking over this, I'm not going to double check every single one of your calculations, but I'll be looking at it. And I can tell by the fact that we went from 286 to 253 that this percent change should be a negative percent change. Also, the fact that we're going from 80 something to 50 something, right? That tells me that it's not necessarily a very small change. So I wouldn't expect a 1% change. It's also not a very large change. So I wouldn't expect 100% change. But so negative 11.58%, that makes sense, right? If I'm grading this, I'm looking at this and saying, okay, that makes sense. So again, if you did your math wrong and put the decimal point in the wrong place and put negative 1.158, that would jump out to me. I might, double check your math. Or if you put negative 115.8%, again, with the wrong decimal place, that would again jump out at me, and I would check your math. So that's all you really need to do. And then once you have all this information, at that point, that means you've tested your hypotheses, and you can go down here and answer your questions. Was your hypothesis correct? Overall, did stuff increase or decrease? And that's it. And as always, you're not meant to do this alone. Even though this is an online class, I'm here to help. So as you're doing these labs, if you need me, contact me, and I will be glad to help. Maybe even repeat what I've put in this video, but repeat it in a different way. Just know that I'm here to help.